Hello again and welcome to Awaken the World, a day at the Monastery, a 12-hour live retreat. Today, Saturday, November 17th, we started at 8 p.m. this morning. We had a 10 a.m. session. It is now 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, and we're going to partake in a mindful meal and discussion together right here on the Awaken the World group page. So hello, hello, hello. And I'm going to drop that one out. There we go. So the purpose of this noon session, the exercises delivered in the 10 a.m. session, the second exercise, you have until 2 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock, we're going to address that, have another meditation, and deliver the third exercise, at which point there'll be a 3-hour window until 5 p.m., where we'll return again to discuss and to meditate together. So this session right here is strictly about food and about what we take in many different ways. And we're going to have a mindful meal together. So Kelly has opted to eat at the where we usually eat, which is standing at the island. And I'm going to get her to hand me my plate. And we're going to begin because I'm hungry. We usually eat around 11:15, and I still don't have a plate. So, yeah. Oh, you had to put that food, glorious. God, help me.
That's a personal thing.
Yeah, it's one of the songs that they're doing at the... Thank you, sweetie. It's one of the songs that we're doing at the Beauty and the Beast play, and... yeah. Anyway, so, are you having your food over there? Oh, okay. So Kelly's going to sit down and have it at her computer, and I'm going to have mine right here. So I just want to show you what, this is sort of what we have for lunch, and I'm going to have to unhinge my camera here, so I ask everyone to forgive me. But this is sort of what we have for lunch. You know, there's a boiled egg, there's some celery, some peanut butter, some cheese, some crackers, orange, banana, nuts, and figs, and a radish. And this is sort of how we like to eat our lunch. It's very alive. I see Debbie's here. Hello, Debbie. Are you having supper with us? I guess you'd probably be having a late supper, or hopefully you're having something small with us. And we're going to talk all about mindful eating. So you're going to have to forgive me as I snack in between, you know. So let's actually take a look at what we do when we eat, okay? Most times in this busy illusion, in this physical world, in the societies we've created, the time we have to eat is little. You know, we typically... oh, and Debbie does have something, roasted veggies and couscous. Oh, that sounds really yummy, actually. I happen to like couscous. I really do. Is that one a chickpea couscous or a different flavor? I'm curious. So when it comes to food, you know, there's a whole bunch of things that surround food. And one of the things that's happened in our societal programming is we are programmed that food is... Oh, and I see Sandra is here as well. Hello, Sandra. Nice to see you. Hopefully you have some lunch with you today as well. And like I said, we're going to have a mindful meal together. And as I was just saying, you know, when it comes to food, we've been programmed on many levels. You know, food is supposed to make us feel good. There's things that we call comfort food. You know, people go out for a warm hot chocolate and a cinnamon bun, and we call it comfort food. Or perhaps a big plate of spaghetti is considered comfort food. And in reality, of course, food has really nothing to do with our mind concept of it and everything to do with our body. And it can certainly affect the mind, that's for sure. And eating living, healthy food is far better than eating the packaged foods. And this is what we may or must become aware of. And Debbie says that particular one is a wheat couscous dish. And yeah, I love couscous. Absolutely awesome. So First and foremost, food is, I have a radish here in my hand, and food is primarily, of course, to feed our body. It's energy, like gas in a gas tank for a car. It's energy to our vehicle. The better quality gas we put in, the better the performance of our vehicle. And this isn't a global statement so much as because there's lots of other factors that can influence the performance of our body. But one of the biggest factors, of course, is what we choose to eat. Now, there's another interesting factor about what we choose to eat, and that is the way we choose to eat. When we eat unconsciously, when you've been in those crowds of people where you watch people sit down to eat, and it might as well be a bunch of cows at a trough. They're literally scarfing the food down as fast as possible, shoveling it in with little attention to the way it tastes or the quantity that's going into their body. Foods like this radish, which are living foods, this radish, for example, is about half non-digestible, insoluble fiber, which means half of this radish is going to flow right through me. The other material in this radish, of course, is digestible fiber, along with an amazing amount of vitamin C. This single radish has the same amount of vitamin C as a small orange. So a good-sized mandarin orange, a good-sized Chinese mandarin orange. There's the same amount of vitamin C in this little radish. Radishes are so much cheaper, and not only are radishes good for you, but a radish actually costs your body more calories in expense to eat and digest it than you get out of it. So you actually end up losing a little bit of weight. You end up with a little bit of a calorie deficit after eating a radish. So fantastic food. Now, one of the things about the way we eat, and I'm not going to keep everyone through the whole meal. We're going to spend about 20 minutes here because, of course, then I won't be able to eat at all if I'm continually talking. But when we eat mindfully, we can look a little closer at this, and I'm going to allow myself a bite out of this radish. And before I take a bite of this radish, I'm going to take a moment with myself to think in gratitude as I take a bite of all of the circumstances, all of the people, all of the processes behind bringing this radish to my plate and to my mouth. And when we eat, if we allow ourselves to be mindful and aware and attentive, our food takes on a whole new dimension. So without further ado, I'm going to take a bite of my radish. There's a wonderful crunch when you bite into a radish. Now, in mindful eating, and I still have food in my mouth, and I apologize for eating with my mouth full. In mindful eating, we try to slow down our chews, and we pay attention to all the sensations and processes that are going on. And as you will notice, the mouth produces saliva, and as you chew, that saliva, which is part of your digestive process, begins to work with the food and prepare it for entrance into your stomach. By taking a minimum of 30 chews for every bite of food, you will slow down your eating and you will become so much more aware of the effect that the food is having on your body. Um, as I've said to many before, I have a weakness for Mike and Ike's. It's a candy. I can tell you that when I eat a Mike and Ike, I know it's dead. You can feel it, that there's no life there. It may taste nice, but you know it's dead food. This radish is alive. This radish is invigorating. This single radish is a blessing and a gift. I am grateful for the mouth, the teeth, the tongue, the ability to eat this radish. I am grateful that the radish is here on my plate. Maybe a radish wasn't the right way to start. It takes a long time to chew up a radish. The point is that when we feed our body properly, and when we eat in mindfulness, here I have a piece of cashew, another amazing miracle. We don't think about how the food gets to our plate. You know, we're so used to going to the shopping mall, to the grocery store, whatever the case may be, to get our food. That we remain unaware, as I said, that every plate of food has roughly 1,000 people behind it. 1,000 people who you don't even know, who through their efforts and their work allow you to sample that fresh radish off your plate. This is mindful eating. Colleen is also here today. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you were there. Hello, Colleen. Kelly didn't mention it. I apologize. Good to see you as well. And you are welcome here anytime during today. If you can't make the whole retreat, that's fine. We're going to be back at 2 and then at 5 and then at 7 again as well. This is the thing about food. When we eat food in a mindful way, when we make healthy choices like this date here, and we take the time to contemplate our food, we are no longer separate from our food. Every food has a unique taste, a unique texture. Every food speaks to us and communicates to us. When we eat living foods, we feel the difference within ourselves. When we take time to eat mindfully, every bite becomes a bite of thankfulness, a bite of gratitude for all those who have, for all those who do not have, for all of those who have served us without their knowledge or our awareness in seeing that the food gets to our plate. How does this play into our judgments on ourselves, our judgments in our reality? A piece of beautiful mandarin orange. Sweet and sour, juicy, alive. Every bit of energy that a human being depends upon comes from the sun. It is a common misconception that your energy comes from food. It does come from food. But wait a minute, you just said it comes from the sun. It's true. It comes from the sun. The living plant food is the second source, sunlight. It is sunlight that has been taken in through photosynthesis and used to produce energy, carbohydrates, and to create and grow that plant. And that plant, through the right amount of water, fertile soil, and abundant sunlight, becomes infused with the energy of that sunlight. And then we ourselves take that energy in. Meat products, any product that comes from an animal, that is known as third source sunlight. First, the sunlight is captured within the plant. Then the animal eats the plant and captures the byproduct energy for itself. And then we eat the animal. Given this alone, working towards being a vegetarian is a really good idea, only from the point of view of energy alone. The quality, the efficacy of the energy. And when we talk about efficacy, it's just like a pill, like we're talking the effectiveness. The effectiveness of the food at the plant level is so much higher for our being than it is at the level of meat through animals. Mindful eating also makes us aware of how fortunate we are. You know, no matter how bad things may be in your life, or how bad you may perceive them to be, sorry, I'm fighting with my peanut butter over here. Celery with peanut butter on it. No matter how bad our life may appear to be, the fact that we have food on our plate is a reminder that we can come back to 2 or 3 times a day, depending on how much you eat and when you eat. A reminder of the gift of having food. You know, when Kelly and I woke up this morning, we woke up, I was up about 5:30. Kelly was up just before 6. And it was very cold out this morning, just a little below zero, Arctic wind blowing in. And I said to Kelly, can you imagine at our age waking up in a tent? Not a tent that was safe, because of course you're always worried about bylaw or the RCMP coming and destroying your tent and taking your property. You wake up in the morning and it's cold out, and it's a full 3 hours before the local mission opens where you can get food. During that time, there's nowhere to use the bathroom in a public place because businesses don't want you in their stores to use their bathrooms if you're homeless. There's no one offering you a warm cup of coffee. We are so blessed to have a roof over our heads, to have food available in a fridge. You know, I come downstairs in the morning and the first thing I do is make us a cup of coffee, and the gratitude I feel for being able to make myself a cup of coffee in the warmth of my own home, waking up from the warmth of my own bed after spending a night safe and secure behind my own locked door, or at least the perception of security. And of course, the ability to eat, to not have to rely on someone else. And yet, I do rely on others. We all do. This is the dichotomy of our existence. We are both independent individual beings, and yet we do not have the capability to survive long term on our own. It takes the whole. It takes a plethora of people to make this food appear on my plate, and I am grateful for every one of them. Jamie is here as well. Hello, Jamie. Nice to see you. We're having a mindful meal together. And we of course, have another meditation session coming up at 2 o'clock where we'll discuss the second exercise and provide a third exercise. And then we'll be taking a 3-hour break and getting back together at 5 p.m. And then at 7 as well. I will let everyone go at this point to eat your food. I would ask that you enjoy with yourself as much as possible a mindful meal. There's no point in you seeing me chewing for the next half hour. And I would ask that during your meal you consider as you eat not only the process that creates your food, as the stalk of celery. You know, it amazes me that it takes an entire season to grow this stalk. An entire season of the right conditions, the right amount of rain, the right amount of sunlight, the right amount of nutrients. And here, magically, this stalk is on my plate, thanks to a multitude of people who have made it their mission to make sure that the food is available. What a gift. What a gift to be able to eat in mindfulness, to have food in our fridge, to have healthy food. Work on your exercise this afternoon. Perhaps after you eat, continue working on your exercise. Take a little time with yourself. Meditate in private. We will return at 2 o'clock, where we will continue our discussion on the second exercise, have another meditation together, and I will deliver the third exercise for today. Please enjoy your food as Kelly and I will. Much love to you all, and we will be back here at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, namaste.